Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Live and Mikhail Messenger. It's a delight to be with you all this evening. And the Chinese New Year has begun. That's right. It's already tomorrow in China, February 10th. The Year of the Dragon has officially begun. And the RIO CARNIVAL, famous for its Satanism, is also started already a couple hours ago. So they even had a little woman with a satanic, she had a satanic... what I want to say, horns on her head. So that was intriguing, and we've been having a few technical difficulties tonight. So thank you for bearing with us on that. I'm gonna try to just stop that real quick to make sure it's not affecting us. So RIO CARNIVAL, the Satanism has begun there. And then, of course, why is there a Purim mask that looks a lot like a carnival mask associated with Purim in the month of Adar? That's kind of intriguing as well. That also has started today. It's already tomorrow in good old Israel. So that's happening also. And then we've got that's on the of course the month of Esther, where they famously went to attack the Israelites in the 12th month, and we are beginning that month today as well. We'll take a look at that. And then we've also got that month is also considered the pregnant month this year because it's a leap year. So that means there's an extra month. There's a 13th month that Israel sticks in there. God never said to do that, but they chose to do that. So they call this a pregnant year. Is this the birth pains that we're talking about, or that Jesus was talking about? Actual Purim happens next month according to their calendar, but there's what's called second Purim, or the little Purim, small Purim, that's going to happen here. And then there's a connection with the lunar eclipse in May of 2022, that infamous lunar eclipse that was 333, like Jesus was 33 3.5 hours on the cross, or thereabouts. It was dark on the cross, and so it was like 3 hours. It's very interesting connections there. But in any case, that took place right around second Passover that year. And so what's the connection? There's a 666 connection to this as well, to tomorrow or today, however you want to look at that. And then, of course, we've got the Super Bowl happening the following day on Sunday. And a lot of tie-ins there. This infamous show called Obliterated came out on Net of the Flicks, and talks about destroying Vegas. As the Super Bowl's in Vegas, happening at the Death Star, they're calling it. So is there some connection there as well? Also with the famous entry into Ukraine by Russia back 2 years ago as well. That also on the Julian calendar falls on February 11th. Is there a connection there as well? And then we've got the Mandela effect happening there. We're going to talk about that. And then I happened to do a couple videos 2 years ago. I didn't change these pictures at all. It's exactly what they look like then and look like now. But February 11th, the fig tree generation ended. Technically, when you add up the prophetic days, it ended on February 11th of 2022. Shortly before that invasion took place. And then also this video, again, 2 videos that are on my channel. Like I said, I didn't change these pictures at all. They still look exactly the same as they did then, February 10th and 11th. So here we are talking about these dates once again. They're in the current events playlist. It's at the top of my channel there, Mikhail Messenger, if you want to check that out. You'll see it there. And we're not done yet. The 66 Grammys, there's also a 6-6 connection there. Also, just took place on the eve of IPG being re-released, which we'll talk about also. So that was on February 4th. And of course, it was as satanic as ever, complete with at least 3 different acts that I'm aware of that had some deep Satanism going on in the acts. Including some references to the infamous Stephen King Carrie movie, and Miss Swift was there giving her satanic approval. It seems, standing up and participating in all of it. And what else we got here? Boy, there's a lot of stuff. And there it is. And then February 5th, was this just coincidence that Toby Keith is no longer with us? Very similar to Whitney of the Houston happening on February 11th a few years back. Is this any sort of sacrificial connection here with the Grammys happening on the eve of the Grammys or the day of the Grammys, etc.? Is there any connection there? And then, of course, look who's back. It's good old IPG is back in the mix yet again, wanting us to, I guess, not miss the references to the Year of the Dragon and other things in this video that we may discuss also. So, boy, a lot of things to cover. In fact, there's some things I even cut out for tonight because it's just so much. And then Chuckster has the big C. So we talk shortly about that as well. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell. Thank you for your support of this ministry. It allows us to continue to offer this and other ministry throughout the week. And as you may know, it's fun to look at the end times, but if we're not ready for Jesus to come back, it's kind of pointless at the same time. So we got to make sure that we're ready for Christ. The 10 virgins weren't ready, and or at least 5 of them weren't, even though they were watching, but they weren't ready. So we want to make sure that we're ready. And we do have discipleship class during the week and other events to help get you ready to meet your Maker. So here we are. How's it sounding out there, Ori? Everything sounding okay?
Yes, everything's good.
Everything's good. Okay, that's good to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up so we can hear you guys. So continue to monitor that YouTube. We're just having a lot of technical difficulties getting started tonight. So thanks for bearing with us. If you were here earlier wondering what happened, that's what was going on. So thanks for bearing with us there. But we're going to kind of work our way through some of these topics and discuss these in perhaps a bit more detail. And would love to get all of your input and questions and thoughts and comments. Now, if you want to join us, we're actually in the fellowship at MicaiahMinistries.com, as it shows right there on the screen. You can come over and join us, and you can actually talk to us in person. I'd love to talk to you too. So you can come and ask your questions and discuss whatever's on your mind there. And you can just come to as you see here on the screen, on the side, it's the Sunday night live chat. Normally we do this on Sunday, but because the Super Bowl is on Sunday, we're doing it tonight. So come and join us over there, and you can type your questions or ask by voice, and we'd love to hear you. I will also try to refer to you also over there on YouTube as much as we can. Oh, hey, and thank you, Brother Rick. It looks like he's giving out 10 memberships there. Praise the Lord. So that's awesome. And congratulations if you got a membership there. I can't see it in front of me. I can barely see the chat here in what I have. But thank you, Brother Rick, for doing that. And some memberships are going out to some folks there. Praise the Lord. So, all right. Well, let's talk, guys. So what do you guys think about the Year of the Dragon? Starts now. And, wow. What are you guys thinking? What's on your mind?
So, is it true that they have minted a coin with King Charles on it
that's
shows
right,
him
yeah,
riding a dragon?
Yeah. Now I
That's
actually
true.
did a video about that some time ago because that goes all the way back to when he was crowned as a prince, and they made the dragon at that time. It was. When he was crowned as a prince, the dragon is on his crest, his princely crest there, and so it's very associated with Wales, where he was the Prince of Wales, and so let's take a look here and see if we can see that coin. Let's dig a little further, shall we? So let's see, King Charles. So there's an older coin, but then there's a new coin of him as king with the dragon. So he loves the dragon. In fact, when he didn't get to have the dragon, one thing he was upset about with the guy who made his wedding cake is that the red dragon wasn't on it. So he's definitely one who follows the red dragon. We've gone over that in great detail. Be sure to look at our Chucky playlist. I think it's called Royal Conspiracy. And one of Antichrist and so forth. Be sure to look at those playlists, and you will see more about that because we've done several videos on the association with the dragon and the Chuckster. But let's see if we can find the actual new coin that they've made. So 2024, here we go, 2024. And let me just go down a little bit here. Okay, so there's a few of them. This one's called War of the Dragon 2024. I mean, how appropriate.
Wow.
of, oops, I don't know what I just clicked on. How appropriate of a name, War of the Dragon, it's called, the 2024. And it's only 750 smackers. 2024 King Charles, King Chuckster III, the lunar year of the dragon. So, wow. So not only was he already associated with the dragon, but he's tying into this being the year of the dragon, his golden year, shall we say, in this gold-proof coin. So the lunar year of the dragon, and it literally says year of the dragon, 2024. Now, did I just see one that said War of the Dragon? Oh, no. I guess I wasn't reading it well. Year of the Dragon. I guess I'm expecting the War of the Dragon. It looks like it's about to commit war. But Year of the Dragon. So Year of the Dragon, 2024. Okay, and I think there's one of him riding the dragon, if I remember correctly, that I saw. So let's see.
I saw that one.
King Charles rides the dragon. Let's see if I can see that. Find that one. So that's kind of interesting. Well, I don't think that's it. King Charles Dragon Coin 2024. Okay, so we got him there. I'm pretty sure there's one of him like on the dragon. Oh wait, here it is. There it is. He rides the dragon, ladies and gentlemen. So he is the Black Prince, by the way. We've gone over this in great detail. Some of these things were broken first here on this channel that others are famously reporting on, but the Lord revealed here. So I hope you'll go back and check out some of those original videos that we do have on here that will kind of show you some of these things about the dragon. But there he is, riding the dragon. Wow. Okay. So, and we know of the Black Prince, it says, I serve Ich Dien, and then it has the dragon. So it's like, I serve the dragon. And so that's what it says on Chucky's official crest. Again, we have lots of videos on that, so I hope you'll go and check that out. So great point. So he's fully embracing the year of the dragon as the king of the dragon. And so is this the year that he comes out of the closet with his dragon and starts flying around? Is that what's going to happen? Something to ponder in this year of the dragon. Other thoughts on the year of the dragon at this moment?
There is a Super Bowl commercial for, I think the sponsor is Mountain Dew, and there's a actress riding a dragon, and the
yes, you're right.
thing says 2/11/24. It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be a blast commercial. That's right.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, I did see that as well. Mountain Dew. And I want to thank all those who sent me things over the week and weeks. Who please continue to send them away. We have a whole page devoted to Sunday Night Live here. You can post things there, and it really helps a lot to bring these things to light. So Mountain Dew Blast commercial, and I think it was Dragon. Yeah, I did see her on that dragon, saying it's going to be a blast. Let's see if we can see an image of this. Oh, there it is. Okay, so she's riding the dragon here with her Mountain Dew, saying it's going to be a blast. And this is a Super Bowl commercial. So there's a whole video of Super Bowl commercials you can check out there that shows you the commercials in advance, which is kind of interesting that they even do that. Maybe because they don't want you to miss some of these messages that they have in there, because there really are some interesting ones there. And we'll probably even talk about some next week after the Super Bowl, and we might revisit some of those. But there you go. So Mountain Dew, and she says it's going to be a blast. So, a lot of these kind of, like, they're trolling us, with these phrases that they throw into these things, to kind of tell us what their intentions are. So the dragon is on the move there. We've got Chucky, the year of the dragon. Now there's two dragons here. Is there a reason for that? Is one Chucky and one China? Are they working together here? Is it like the year of the dragon and then the Chuckster, or something along those lines? Kind of interesting thought there. What do you guys think?
It is interesting.
Or what are the thoughts on this? Any? So it's already the Chinese New Year has begun. And Chuckster, since we're kind of on Chucky, I guess we can talk a little bit about the fact that he's been diagnosed with the infamous C word there, can of the Sir. And they haven't revealed what kind of can of the SER it is. And they say it's not the prostate. But I was thinking, could it have something to do with la cabeza, the head? Because we know that the Antichrist is going to be kind of whacked in the head. Something's going to happen to him there. And he will not be, he'll be out of commission for a short time, but then he'll miraculously recover, it seems, based on Scripture. So could that be what it is? Maybe he doesn't even have it, but they're just claiming he has it, so then he can miraculously pop back, and you'll be like, oh, wow. So who knows? Normally, they're very private about these things. I supposedly the Queen also suffered from some can of the SER. So interesting thought, huh? What's really going on here with this? Any thoughts on that?
Right. Yeah, I think that they're going to use that if he does actually have that kind of issue, then it'll gain people's sympathy, possibly, to try to win over more of the population.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, because they're always sympathetic when you're suffering. Then suddenly they love you. Well, he wasn't that bad, I guess, after all.
Right. This world is all about feelings now, so
nothing more than feelings. Right.
Exactly.
You make it a good point. I'm trying to see if I can see the chat here. Okay, so interesting. And any other thoughts on the Chucky?
Oh, Dr. Rick in YouTube chat says that they found the problem during his prostate exam.
Oh, right. That's what it was. Yeah, I did, because I did read something about the prostate. Okay. I see. They saw it during the exam. I'm trying to get the. Speaking of Rick, I'm just trying to bring this up, because he just gave all these memberships. I'm trying to read off the memberships if I can see them here. I don't know if I'm going to get to see them or not. You
can't. I can.
Oh, maybe you can read them off. Would you welcome our new members, please?
KFT was gifted a membership.
All right.
Momo. Oh, what is this? Momoff Texas 3. Judy Ira. Marita. The Jesus Freak. Ding Dong Dasher. Debbie Wilson. Lucas Williams. Ethel 4252. Truth Seeker 1957. And Lisa Rathman Crumley. They were all gifted memberships.
All right.
And yeah, I think that's it.
Woohoo! Thank you, Brother Rick, and thank you. Welcome to all the new members. Thanks so much for helping to support this ministry. It allows us to do this 24/7. We're over here at McCowministries.com. I hope you'll come join us. And we also are here on YouTube as well. So thank you so much, Brother Rick, and thank you for everybody for being members out there and helping to support this ministry. Okay, so any other thoughts here on Chucky before we look at some other things?
Yeah, so James B in the chat is also talking about two dragons. He heard someone else speaking about a transition between a red dragon and a white dragon. So I wonder what that means.
Well, yeah, the two dragons, because, in Revelation, you've got the first beast, but then you have the second beast, right? So could the two dragons be referencing, the sort of beast Antichrist proper that we consider? Then we've got the false prophet, who is also considered a beast, who comes out of the sea, I believe. One comes from the sea, one comes from the land. So we've got two different beasts going on there in Revelation. And what did you say about those two beasts?
There would be a transition between the red one and then in the white one.
Okay, transition of the beasts. So, a lot of people are saying, well, what about William? Is he going to become the Antichrist, rather than the Chuckster? And that's certainly possible. But again, it could just be a ruse where they're saying, oh, he's out, he's going to be gone, and then he miraculously recovers, which would also fulfill Scripture as well. So something to consider there. Let me just move this up a little bit for you.
Someone else mentioned the miraculous healing of the king. Is that going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So we may see that. So that's kind of exciting. So they've already got the illness on the table, right? They've publicly come out with it. So that's kind of exciting to think about, that we're getting that close to Antichrist revealing, perhaps. And the fact that he's riding the dragon now, and that it's the year of the dragon, so he's fully embracing year of the dragon as his own thing. Like, it's not just China, but he's embracing that for himself as well. And it has begun. Year of the dragon has begun today, already there in China. Anything else on that one?
Krista Kerr, she said, I think this is pertaining to the coins that we were looking at.
Yeah.
Is their purity is 999.9% purity. Is that right? And if you flip it upside down, it's 666.6.
How is that? How is it 666? Oh, 99.9% is 666 upside down.
Right.
Yes. Wow, interesting.
It's fascinating.
That's intriguing. So 99.9. Of course it is. 99.9.
That is fascinating. Never thought of that.
99.9. Okay. Let me see if I can bring that up here. 99.9%. Oh yeah, here it is. Here's the purity.
Yeah.
99. Oh, it even just says 999 silver proof coin. So they just have it there. Man, this guy's infamous for his 666s. As we know, King Chuckster the third, when you put those three letters actually look like six, the letter 6, or the number 6 from Hebrew. So that is also 666, his actual name. Here you've got 999 silver proof coin. So of course you turn that upside down and you've got 666. Wow. There it is, folks. There it is. Read it and weep. 1 ounce of 999 silver. Ooh. So we got gold, you got silver. Silver and gold. Okay, interesting. Any other thoughts on this one? Okay, let's keep moving. If you remember something, just bring it up. So Rio Carnival has begun today as well, and they're infamous for their Satanism. I think it was last year that they were portraying Jesus actually being whipped as they were going through the parade. He was going through the parade. They were whipping him and abusing him, and so there's been a lot of Satanism associated with that parade. Any thoughts on this one out there?
Isn't that taking place this weekend all over?
Yeah, so they've started. I mean, they officially started the event today, like a couple hours before we came on, and I want to see if I can find this. See if I can find because there was this ad on the page and it changed once they started. Let's see, Rio Carnival. So February 9th through February 17th, but today was sort of where the official kickoff, because it was just 2 hours ago. So let's see here. Rio Carnival. See if I can find the one where she had the trip. I think it was like advertising a trip or something. But she had these devil horns. I wish I'd kind of grabbed a picture when I had a chance. Rio Carnival. Ad. Let's see if we can find an ad for it. It's going to show me a lot of scantily clad ladies, but let me see if I can. She wasn't scantily clad. This was just somebody who had like devil's horn head. Let me see if I can still find it. It was on the website here, which they've already updated. It's really kind of weird. But it was an ad that showed up. Let me just refresh the page. Maybe it'll pop up again. Let's see if I can find it here. So
Oh, I just found one in Rio.
yeah.
Celebration of Brazilian culture, and it's a dragon.
Okay.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it in the chat.
Okay. I can put it up here. That
This
sounds intriguing.
talking about Carnival, this relates to the Catholic Church. The Vatican was made an independent state on February 11th by Mussolini, and the Pope got his sovereignty on that day.
On which day?
February 11th.
February 11th, the Pope got his sovereignty?
Yeah.
Wow.
Over the Vatican. Vatican City was made
Wow.
was made an independent state.
On February 11th. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to look here in a second. Some other February 11th stuff.
1929.
In 1929?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, here it is. I found a picture.
Mussolini.
Cool. We'll bring that up. We'll talk about that in a second when we get over there to February 11th. Let me just show you this picture real quick. So this was the image they had at the top of their website when I first went there. As you can see, it's a woman. She's got kind of devil horns coming out of her head there. You can make that out, but yeah. So that's what was up there, advertising like an all-inclusive $190 to go to the carnival. And so she's got the devil horns there, with green and red, which is interesting because those are the two colors of the dragons we see in that Mountain Dew commercial too. So you've got green and red horns going on there. So what does this mean? Is this the two beasts represented here? Kind of intriguing. So Carnival is happening. And then I found this, I just wasn't even really looking for it, but I came across this on Purim, the month of Adar. And intriguingly, it kind of had a carnival mask. So I thought, well, that's kind of strange, because how is that associated with Esther? You know, I mean, you could make a stretch and say, well, you know, women wear the mask, or she, you know, spent 12 months of making herself look pretty for the king or something. But I just found that intriguing, that they happen to put this mask there for Purim, which is kind of very similar to something you might see at the carnival there in Rio. So I thought that was kind of interesting too. So we're beginning Adar here, and we're going into this month. That also has started today, because technically it's tomorrow in Israel. So Adar has also begun, which is the 12th month of the Hebrew calendar, from the original biblical calendar. 6 months of the political calendar or the secular calendar, but the 12th month. So that's the month, as we know from the book of Esther, that she was, that they attacked the. I kind of wonder if that was. I don't know if we know if that was the month that she was presented before the king, but I know that was the month that they attacked the Israelites, or that they planned to, but they allowed the Israelites to defend themselves. So let's just read a few scriptures on this from Esther. So it says, in the 12th year of King Xerxes, in the first month, the month of Nisan, they cast the pur, that is the lot, in the presence of Haman to select a day and month, and the lot fell on the 12th month, the month of Adar. Dispatches were sent by couriers to all the king's provinces with the order to destroy, kill, and annihilate all the Jews, young and old, women and little children, on a single day, the 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar, and to plunder their goods. The day appointed for the Jews to do this in all the provinces of King Xerxes was the 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar. On the 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar, the edict commanded by the king was to be carried out. On this day, the enemies of the Jews had hoped to overpower them, but now the tables were turned, and the Jews got the upper hand over those who hated them. Wow. So very poetic, and with all that's happening in Israel right now, what might be the connection here of what is about to go down?
I have a little connection on that one,
yes,
actually.
Please.
So to the 11th is also the Persian Revolutionary holiday, and the leader of the Persian actually his name is Haman.
No way.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Wait.
The Kahamani, or I'm trying to not trigger.
Now, this is from 1979, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And his name was Hamani, like Haman?
Well, the I to the toe
Yeah, thank you for spelling things out like that.
to the law.
Saves me a lot of hassle.
That's why I'm trying to not trigger anything.
Yes,
so
thank
that
you.
second part of the name has Haman in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's take a look at this. So we've got the Iranian Revolution. Thank you for bringing that up, because I
Or
meant to mention it
Persian,
earlier.
if you want to be a little less.
Yep. The Persian Revolution, let's say that. The Persian Revolution that took place. And that it ended on February 11th of 1979, right here. So it started on the 7th of January and ended on the 7th.
So I think they celebrate the 11th as like the day.
Oh, they celebrated the 11th because that was the end, because that's when it ended, right?
Right.
So they celebrated as their victory, right? Where Persian had a victory. So it's kind of ironic, right? Because, on the flip side, the Israelites had the victory in Esther. So on February 11th, the Persians had a victory there, and so February 11th obviously is this Sunday. So we're looking at that day as well. And what's interesting about that is January 7th. So we know that the current invade of the Jeune took place on the 7th of October, right? The 7th of October, which was also Putin's birthday. And that was when they invaded into the carnival that was going on that day. And they took people away and supposedly took out the women, children, etc., as stated in Esther, very similarly. So that's also intriguing as well.
So, speaking of leaders, the current leader has Haman in his name too.
Okay, so let's find this guy, Haman.
Yeah.
Here. So
and the Gemsta just brought that to my attention, so thank you. I remembered seeing that, and then thanks for bringing it up.
Okay, so let me see if are you talking about the Ayah of the Tola?
H-A-M-E-N. Yes, the second part of that name.
Part of his name, in the middle of his name. Okay, right. Got it. Okay.
And Mordecai was from the tribe of Benjamin, and the leader of the Israel leader right now, he is named Benjamin.
Right, and Kaduri famously talked about the two Benjamins, right? And then on the Sabbath following, the Messiah would come. So that's also intriguing. So okay, let's break this down again. So for everyone playing at home, so you've got Ali K of the Haman E, right? You see that name there. So Haman's in the middle of that name. Now, what's the current guy's name?
Yeah,
well, it's the same guy, isn't it? No, that's it.
Well, it's still. Oh yeah.
Is it the same guy? Is this guy still around? How long has he been around? Yeah, I mean, he is the current guy. He's the current guy. But who's the guy back in 79?
Okay. That's the same person?
Same guy? Same guy, right?
I guess. Must be.
Well, let me take a look at this guy real quick. Let's see what these guys always, stick around a while, don't they? Well, he was born in 1939, so and he's been the supreme leader since 1989. So what took place in 79? Let's see. See if I can find that 79 one. Okay, so to honor, that was the anniversary. Let's see. But you're saying the guy who led this event?
Yes.
Here he is in the protest, the current leader. It's a picture of him in the protest there. That's him there, the current Persian leader of Haman in the protest. So he was certainly part of it. Wow, interesting. So the Haman name lives on through this guy. That's intriguing. Wow.
He was born on an eclipse. Is that what I'm understanding?
Really? January 7, 1978. Let's take a look. Oh boy, the plot does indeed thicken. Wait, when was he born? Ali. Muhammad Ali. Okay, let's see. He was born on the 19th of April, 1989. 1939, sorry. Can't see. Was it the 19th of April? Yeah, 19th of April. Okay. April 19th, 1939. Eclipse. There was indeed a solar eclipse that day, on April 19th, 1939.
Oh.
And, well, it looks like it covered a good chunk there. Let's see. Where did it color? 1939.
Thanks for bringing that up. That's from James B.
Thanks, James. Woohoo! Land cover was Alaska, Canada, the Soviet Union. Intriguing. Okay. Interesting. So, born on an eclipse. Well, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
I believe BB was also born on an eclipse.
Oh, BB.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was just going to say that.
And Mr. T, also an eclipse.
Okay. So, let's see. Let's see on this guy. Okay. He was born on October 21st, 1949. Let's see. 21st, what was it again? Help me remember these dates.
49.
1949.
Yeah.
49, okay. October 21st, 1949. Okay. October 21st, 1949. A partial eclipse occurred Friday, October 21st, 1949.
Sure.
And what was the path of this one? We don't know. I guess we kind of see it from here. Looks like it's going over Anti of the Arctica.
Seriously? Was Putin also born on an eclipse?
Let's see.
Wow.
Woo-hoo! The fun continues. Okay. Well,
That's crazy.
I know, man. This is too fun. Okay, let's see. Now, I know this guy. Well, it's October. We know what date it is, right? Because it's October 7th. That's his birthday. Let's see, birthday. I guess I should just look at it that way. October 7th, 1952. So we know that was the invasion day, the flood that took place that day. And was there also an eclipse that day? Let's see. Don't know. Let's see. So given all the eclipses. But there was an eclipse that year on February 10th and 11th. So it doesn't show up his date of birth, but it does show up for February 10th and 11th of all days. So that's intriguing.
That is intriguing.
All right. Any other thoughts on that arena before we continue? Before we sally forth. So, okay. So then we've got the month of Adar happening. Okay, so this is also on both calendars. Now, some interesting things with this. Let's see if I can bring it up here. So we've got these. Now, what's interesting is yesterday was Yom Kippur Katan. So they actually have a little day of atonement that just took place. That's also kind of intriguing. And
You have atonement?
yeah, a little day of atonement. Yom Kippur. It says Yom Kippur Katan.
So we've got these. And what's interesting is yesterday was.
Oh, someone's playing my video back. Like, don't scare me. I've had enough problems tonight with technical difficulties. Okay, Yom Kippur Katan. So Yom Kippur Katan from Hebrew is a minor day of atonement. It's a practice observed by some Jews on the day preceding each Rosh Chodesh. The observing consists of fasting and supplication. So I guess they do that every month, but is much less rigorous than that of Yom Kippur proper. Okay. So, but also, let's see. There's this Parashat Mishpan. This is the laws. Recounts a series of God's laws that Moses gives to the Israelites. These include laws about treatment of slaves, damages, loans, returning lost property, the damage, sabbatical year, holidays, and destroying idolatry. Sounds kind of like what you do in a Shemitah year or a day of release, year of release. Okay, that's interesting. And then I thought I saw something over here that was kind of interesting too. Let's take a look. So this is the Shabbat Shechalem. So it's called the Shabbat Shechalem, the Sabbath of the Shekel. It's a Sabbath honor before the last day of the month of the spiritual year. And the half shekel was collected on the first day of month 12. It is the first of 4 special Sabbaths. Today the parashah is Mishpatim, which means the judgments. Today is Shabbat Merachem, which is Sabbath of blessing. It is the last Sabbath before the new moon. Intriguing. And then let me just
Actually,
go ahead.
the month of Adar, Moses died on the 7th, which winds up being the 16th this year.
Moses died on the 7th?
The 7th of Adar. Yeah.
Does it say that in scripture?
That's what I'm saying.
Really? Okay, wait, that's the same one, Sabbath of Shekel. I thought there was something else here. Yeah, if you could find the verse on that, I'd love to share that. Shabbat Meravechem. So interesting. So it seems like there's 4 shekel Sabbaths here before the end of the year that kind of have to do with judgments. So that's kind of intriguing as well. Let's see if I can get this back over here.
So does Mardi Gras tie into all this too? Because it's
it's a good question.
Mardi Gras is the day. What is it? The 13th?
Oh yeah, it's Mardi Gras in March, right? March 13th.
February 13th. Mardi Gras Day is February 13th.
Oh really? I thought that was later. Wow, I was thinking the same thing when I thought about the carnival connection. I'm like, it's kind of like Mardi Gras.
Yes, RS just brought that up in the chat, so I looked it up, and it says, Mardi Gras Day, February 13th.
Wow.
They said that there was a bunch of celebrations in their area, like parades and such.
So I guess we'll look at these other Sabbaths as we get there, but it looks like these 4 Sabbaths are kind of like the judgment Sabbath. I'm kind of curious. Let's take a peek. Sabbath of Remembrance. That's one of the shekel Sabbaths, I think. Sabbath before Purim. Okay, interesting. And then this one, Sabbath of the Red Heifer. Woo-hoo, Sabbath of the Red Heifer. Come on. That's exciting. Okay.
That is very interesting.
And but the problem is every time I zoom in on this, it doesn't want to zoom back out. Cut it out, you. All right, let's see if I can look at the now I want to know what the next one is. Don't you? Oh yeah, it's exciting.
Actually, they're saying that it's his birthday, Moses' birthday, and his death day were the same. The 7th of Adar.
Really? Is there any scriptural reference for that, or that's just what people believe to be the case?
Trying to find.
Now, the Sabbath following Red Heifer is gathered together. How about that? How would you like to be gathered together on that day?
Oh.
Kind of cool. Okay, lots happening. So what's also cool about this is, okay, so we start this month, but we don't actually celebrate Purim just yet, right? We've got, get out of here. This causing trouble here. Okay, so Purim comes up in 2 weeks. So we've got this month, which is the shekel. Well, which one was this one? I can't remember. One was remembrance, and one was gather together, and one was this one's judgments, I think. And so 2 weeks from today, we've got Purim Katan, followed by Shushan Purim. That's where you get your Shushan. And so that's another name for Susa, which is the citadel of Susa. You read in the Bible. That's Shushan. So that's 2 weeks from now. So that's intriguing as well. And I think there's some interesting date connections to that as well, if I remember correctly. And then we've got Moses. Now, you said Moses October 7th? Or Adar 7?
Adar 7.
Oh, Adar 7. So Adar 7 will be 1 week from today. So that'd be like Moses and then Purim, if that's the case. So that's also cool, too. All right. So, any thoughts on Esther before we sally forth with Sally? Okay, so again, the pregnant month, kind of interesting term for this because you have an extra month in this leap of the years. So basically, we're here in Adar 1, and then they want to call the next one Adar 2. You know, so instead of just following what God originally said, you know, the rabbis and all their pharisaical non-wisdom, added months, added days that should have been added, and so forth. So now they have a second month in there. Mr. Maimonides did that with his 13-month calendar. So Adar 2 they add in this year. And so it's called the pregnant year because it's like you're waiting for the year to end. They have an extra month there. You're waiting for that baby to be born. Jesus talked about it being like birth pains. So is there any connection to this time of the year? In Hebrew, this leap year is called Shana Me Uberet, which literally translated means a pregnant year. Adar then becomes a pregnant month. Therefore, we have Adar Aleph and Adar Beit. Kind of like I'm the Aleph and like the alphabet, Aleph Beit. Adar 1 and Adar 2. So, thoughts on this pregnant month that we're in? We're entering now? Anyone? And then they're celebrating Purim. Actual Purim will be next month. That they'll celebrate that in late March. But technically, so what's the deal? So we've got these two different Purims. It's called Second Purim. It's called Purim Katan, or the Minor Purim. It's a celebratory day uniquely observed by a Jewish community or individual family to commemorate the anniversary of its deliverance from destruction. So basically, biblically, it's the 12th month. That's what it says there in Esther. But because they add this 13th month, they're like, well, then the argument is, do we celebrate it on the 12th month, like it says in the Bible, because we're celebrating Esther's victory, the victory of the Jewish people in the 12th month, or do we celebrate the last month before we start the new year, because that would really be more where the 12th month should land. That's sort of the argument, I guess, why they have these two different Purims that they celebrate. And so I guess during the diaspora, some people started to celebrate it this month, and some people started to celebrate the next month, and so you ended up having these two Purim celebrations. Purim Katan, they call it, or the small Purim, kind of diminishing, I guess, its importance by calling it small, so that they could then celebrate it in the 13th month, the official Purim day. Shushan Purim. Why? So Shushan, basically there's a Purim, and then there's people in the city of Susa didn't celebrate it until a day later. So they have two different celebrations for actual Purim. Purim proper, which is, go back here. Where am I? Adar 2. So that's March. Okay, so we've got Purim Katan. Oh, and then you have Purim. Purim here is on the 24th of March, but the next day they do Shushan Purim. They just, they like to stretch out the holidays. It's kind of like what they do with the great eighth day. They got the Simchat Torah, they got the Shemini Atzeret. It's like, come on, let's party another day. Let's have another party.
Micaiah, if you look up Zayin Adar, Zayin,
Okay. I'm going to do
that is the anniversary of the birth and death of Moses in Jewish tradition.
Okay, 7th of Adar, Zayin Adar. It's the anniversary of the birth and death of Moses in Jewish tradition. It's observed as a last day in some Jewish communities. A last day? Or a fast day. See, I can't read right now. Fast day. Okay. Interesting. The biblical sources suggesting these dates are as follows. Joshua crossed the river Jordan on the 10th of Nisan. Earlier, God had commanded Joshua to perform the crossing in 3 days' time. Thus, this command was given on the 7th of Nisan. The command is specified as coming after the death of Moses. Moses had been mourned for 30 days after his death. Assuming that the divine command immediately followed the end of the mourning period, Moses must have died 30 days before 7th of Nisan on the 7th of Adar. The 7th of Adar is a fast day in some Jewish communities. A special tikkun is added prior to services. Jewish burial societies have often met on the 7th of Adar. In Israel, the 7th of Adar is designated as a day in remembrance of those soldiers who have fallen in war but whose bodies have not been found or identified. In reference to but not been found or identified. Interesting. Were they raptured? In reference to the biblical verse noting that no one knows the exact burial place of Moses even to this day, which is true. On Mount Herzl, there is a wall with the names of 588 fallen soldiers who died in Israel with unknown grave sites. That's intriguing. Wow.
That is very intriguing.
Yeah,
wow.
The dead will rise first. There's a lot of connections there. And then nobody...
That's exactly what the Jimsta said. That in Christ rise first, he said.
Yeah. Very interesting. And connected with Moses, and we don't know where the grave is, and they've never been found or identified, so it's kind of like, what happened to these people? They're just missing in action. 7th of Adar, guys. That's 1 week from today. 7th of Adar. Kind of exciting. Okay. Very cool. Thank you, Gina. Excellent. What else do we got going on here? So... Shushan Purim. Okay, so I think we kind of got the gist of those. So the lunar eclipse that happened in 2022, very interesting. And if you think of more stuff on topics we covered, you can bring it up as we go along. But May 2022, as you remember, was this epic. I did tons of videos on it. You can just type blood moon on this channel, and you'll find a ton of videos about it. But it was this epic eclipse that took place. It had all these other eclipses that pointed to it, 100 in either direction, just equidistant from each other. It was like perfectly symmetrical, and it was just amazing. And I think it was Stephen brought this to my attention, but, there's a 666 connection to this eclipse. From this eclipse day, it was May 15th and 16th to today, or tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world. So check this out. You take May 15th. April 15th. So what it is it's actually because a month before was when they celebrated Passover. Okay, so let me show you this on the calendar really quick. So because it's kind of intriguing. Let's see here. Okay, so April 15th was Passover. So you see it here on the right hand side. 15th and 16th, that was Passover. And then second Passover took place on 15th and 16th of this month, and that's when the blood moon occurred. Now, we know in Scripture, God says, I will not pass over them again, right, in Amos. And so he had to wait till second Passover, because he allowed for second Passover, right, for people who missed the first Passover, to bring that epic blood moon in and he brought it in right on the cusp on the 16th. So he brought it right in from the 15th, 16th, right at the end of second Passover there, so that anybody who needed to celebrate Passover could do so prior to that blood moon occurring. Now, this was 4 years after they turned 70 years old in 2018. There were a lot of other incredible connections that were made there. Again, videos on this site that go over that, like the Daniel 144 days, 12 times 12, and just going back to that, the whole thing of 4 more years for the fig tree generation, just digging around the tree and from from 2018 to that time. So really cool stuff there. And I encourage you to watch those videos because they're really awesome, the things that were in there. So in any case, you go back from tomorrow. You go back. You go from April 15th, from that Passover until tomorrow, the 10th, is 666 days. So I thought that was a pretty intriguing one there, considering all that was tied in with that Passover and that blood moon that took place 1 month later, right after second Passover, and just kind of ended that time period. So I thought that was really interesting. 666 days till tomorrow. So cool one, Stephen. I like that. All right, the Super Bowl, super duper. Any thoughts on the Super Bowl? Yeah, go ahead. Any comments on anything so far? Go ahead.
Well, Tandra just sent me a picture of what she saw. I'm going to see if I can share it with you. In the bakery.
Oh, and let me grab that link you shared with me. Did you share a link with me over here too?
Yeah, it was about Carnival.
Okay, I'll put that up too while you're talking. Go ahead.
I don't know if I can get this to copy, but I'll try.
Let's see if I can get this to come up.
So this is fascinating. Yeah, she said she saw these in the bakery today. Let me get it to you.
Okay. And while you're doing that, let me do this. Back this up a little bit. You guys can see this. So it says, get ready for it. Now, why did you share this carnival with me? You had something specific you want to share? Oh, the dragons?
It was just the dragons.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
I just thought that was fascinating.
All right, the dragons. Okay, so the dragons are in Carnival. And it's the red and green dragon again. Let's take a look at this picture a little better. So there's your dragons. So they got the dragons, they got the devil, they're whipping Jesus. I mean, they're doing all kinds of horrible things. It's like they're just literally doing satanic rituals right in front of you, but in such a festive, happy way, right? Kind of like like they do during during the Super Bowl or during the Grammys or any of these things, right? They're just doing it funny, but isn't this fun? Of course, for any of us who are hip to these things, we're like, wait a minute. What are you trying to get me to?
If the world can't wake up by seeing all this, then
it's hidden in plain sight. It's like right there, but just like people just don't want to admit it, that it's happening right in front of them.
Right.
And what was the other thing you were sharing?
Okay, so I put another picture of what Tandra sent. She saw these in the bakery today.
Oh.
And in looking at them, you see the cookies have a 6 on them.
Okay, let's see if I can bring this up here. Okay, so we got some cookies. One says the Chiefs, one says the Kingdom. Oh, right. And then there's a 666. Yeah, okay, so the red swirl where you see the football and you see the other, I think it's like a ring, a Super Bowl ring, and there's a big red swirl and it's in the shape of a 6. So...
And before you go into that, I should probably tell you that the Gymsta also put... So Donna and he were kind of talking about the eclipses from 2017 and 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Gymsta put that both eclipses are equally 241 years from 1776 and 1783, Declaration of Independence and Treaty of Paris, Aleph and Tav, first and last of America. There's a lot of correlation.
Give me what was it? What happened that day?
I need him to come over.
Was that February 11th, you said? Again?
So he was just saying there's 241 years.
From when to when?
He says both are equally 241 years from 1776 and 1783. So if you take
carry the one.
1776 to 2017,
okay,
that's 241 years. And then if you take 2024, so 1783 to 2024 is another 241 years.
Does this have anything to do with the cookies I'm looking at?
No, that's why I said before you go into that.
Oh, okay.
But I just wanted to
So
at least let him have a voice in that.
yeah,
'cause
no. I just want to
it makes
understand what he's saying. So basically 1776 to what day?
2017.
To 2017 was 241 years.
Yeah.
And
That was
and why is
so
that significant?
1776 was when the Declaration of Independence was signed,
Mhm,
right?
Yeah.
And then if you take 1783 and you go to 2024, it's another 241 years. These are both eclipses. And the Treaty of Paris was signed.
Treaty of
And
Paris
the
was signed in
Treaty of Paris.
1783.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
Oh,
I
he said,
understand what
sorry,
you said.
the eclipse is marked at the end of when America started. Okay, got it.
So there was an eclipse on the day on July 4th, 1776?
I
Or
think that's what he's saying.
okay, interesting. Huh. Okay.
It's just interesting that when they sign treaties, it's always during an eclipse. Fascinating.
Right, like they planned this
Or
stuff.
at least these two were.
76. Let's see. Eclipse 1776, November 30th, December 15th. There's a total solar eclipse November 30th, and then 2 weeks later, a partial lunar eclipse on December 15th, which is kind of what we've been seeing. This kind of like you have an eclipse, and 2 weeks later, a lunar solar. Okay, that's
he
interesting.
He said no. I'm saying that's when America started, and now the eclipses are when it's ending. Oh, okay.
Okay. Interesting.
The eclipses are marking the end. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Intriguing.
241 years from the start, and then the eclipse marks the end.
Okay. Intriguing. Very intriguing.
That is intriguing. Sorry, I totally didn't understand what he was saying. Sorry, I
Well,
totally
we've basically
didn't
gone
represent
7
you
years
right.
from 2017 now, so there's that too. Just to think about the
Yeah,
7-year
that's true.
thing, and then we've got the 3.5-year thing. So just kind of throw that in there as well. Cool.
Very cool.
Interesting. Cool stuff, guys. Thanks for bringing up. I appreciate the variety of things that are being shared. So, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's just continue. So the Super Bowl's happening, and any thoughts on this? Just off the cuff. We know that the Sum of All the Fears, the movie, took place during a Super Bowl, and that was when an NUKE was released. We also know there's this show called Obliterated, which Mark, I think, sent me a video on it that you can check out. I wasn't able to find the actual link for it, but it's basically they're talking to the secret cabal about starting the civil of the WAR in Vegas, and by destroying Vegas, they can kind of blame it on both sides, because they can say, oh, well, it was the right because they don't like the decadence of Vegas, and no, it was the left because I forget what the reasoning was for that one, but basically they were saying they could use this as an opportunity to start the whole chain reaction by destroying Vegas, and so that's kind of interesting.
That's scary.
Yeah. So I don't know. Any thoughts on that
So
one?
there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot with the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there is.
Is 49ers, their favorite number is 13 or whatever.
All right. So it's the 13th Super Bowl.
Yeah, and 4 plus 9 is 13. 49ers.
That's interesting. Yeah, 13 plus 13 is 26, which is God's number. Of course, 13 is Jesus and the 12 apostles.
211 is February 11th is 13.
February 11th.
Plus 11.
February 11th. Yeah, 13. I was also thinking there might be a 3-2-2 connection too, of skull and the bone of the E's. There might be something there.
Yeah.
Because you think about 11 times 2 is 22, and I don't know, 2 and 1 is 3. But I was just kind of thinking there might be a way that kind of fits in there as well. Yeah, there's a lot there with the Super Bowl and the date of it and everything, and being in Vegas. It won't stay in Vegas this time, they said. I guess there was some sheriff who was talking about something going down too, to beware. So, okay, That's interesting. Now, the Inveigh of the Jean that took place in the U of the Crane by Mr. Pooh of the Tin. That was technically on February 24th, right on our calendar, but the reality is that was actually February 11th on the Julian calendar, and the Julian calendar is the calendar that Russia followed for a long time. They are technically on a Gregorian calendar now, but the Orthodox Church there still follows the Julian calendar. So as far as they were concerned, that entry into Ukraine territory took place on February 11th as well. And we know that that date, when you add it up, is the same. They all add up to 68 or something, where you add that date and the date of the first WAR and the second WAR, they all add up to 68, each of those dates. So that's also intriguing. But somewhere I did a video on that as well, but that's kind of interesting. February 11th. Now, if you remember, and we're going to get to the Grammys here in a second, but if you remember, February 11th was the date that Whitney of the Houston died. And there was a lot of speculation around her death. It took place during a Grammy party that was going on. She was upstairs, and there's a lot of speculation as to what exactly happened there. And that took place on February 11th. Now this year we have Toby Keith, and he died also right on the eve of the Grammys, and I think it was the day after perhaps, but it's right there in that window. And it also was the date that IPG, iPad of the Goat, also came out back again on that day, exactly 5 months, I believe, after it was taken down. So that's very intriguing as well. I looked up this day in history of other things that happened this day, and would you believe, Mandela effect, that South African anti-apartheid activist and revolutionary Nelson Mandela was freed from prison after 27 years on February 11th. Now that is kind of intriguing, considering the Mandela effect has been a big deal lately. Wondering, are we being trolled? Are we being gaslit? What's really going on in the world? And did Mandela did he ever exist? Or did he ever really go to prison? Didn't he go to prison? There was all this kind of Mandela effect thing, right, going on. Well, that's the day that he was released, February 11th. So what significance might this have? Something to consider there. And it's also the day that the W to the H to the O officially named. They officially named C to the O to the V to the I to the D. Wow, that's pretty significant considering all the acronyms that really stands for. Certificate of I to the D and the 1/9 of the year and so forth. So that was the day they officially named it. Which I'm sure they already had the name, so they released the name on February 11th. Why that day? Now that was exactly 1 month right before they made it. They brought the Lock of the Downs in, right? In March, when Mr. T made the big announcement. Oh, we were going to look up Mr. T if he was on an eclipse. But yeah, that's intriguing. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just watching the chat over here, and there's some interesting stuff.
Okay.
Just around the Super Bowl itself too. So let me know when
here's Whitney.
When you're ready for that again.
Okay, sure. Here's Whitney.
What's that?
And no, that's cool.
Okay.
Thomas Edison was also born that day. So is it the end of innovation, the end of invention? So a lot of intriguing things on that day. Jennifer Aniston, and there's Mr. Mandela himself, February 11th. So that's kind of intriguing. Things to consider there that took place on that day. A lot happening on this day in history. Why this day of all days?
Yeah.
So go ahead. What were you going to say?
Thomas Edison's birthday. I hope there's not a lights out.
Oh yeah. Whoa, good point.
Oh.
Ooh, wouldn't that be appropriate? On the day he invented the man who at least claimed to invent the light bulb.
Right.
Wow. And so they turned out the lights on his birthday. That would be pretty amazing. Wow. Very cool. Okay, bring it on. What are some Super Bowl stuff you want to share?
Oh, okay. So you know how there's all this Taylor Swift hype. Well, her favorite number is 13.
Okay.
Toby Keith, James B is saying Toby Keith helped sign Taylor Swift
He
get her
did.
signed.
He did. I remember. I think I saw a documentary on that because I love watching music documentaries. I think you're right. I think he was
That's
one of the
amazing.
guys. That's interesting. Wow.
And then the Jimster just said he thinks that the last time the two teams that are playing in the Super Bowl was the Blackout Bowl.
Oh.
That's fascinating.
Wait, say that again?
And then he said last time those two teams played.
Oh, it was the one where the blackout occurred. Right.
Right.
Okay, yeah, let's take a look at that.
And then when you're done looking at that, Tandra has another interesting post in the Discord chat.
So that was 2013, and the Superdome lost half of its lights for 34 minutes, kind of similar to Christ there again, 33 and a half. Although it seemed like an eternity for those who were there, once power was restored, the 49ers narrowed a 22-point lead. Now that says Ravens and 49ers. But isn't this it's the Chiefs and 49ers this time, I believe.
Oh, he said, sorry, it was the 49ers and the Ravens.
Yeah, which is, we kind of thought the Ravens might come back this year, but actually it's the Chiefs. So that's interesting, too. Okay. But the 49ers, they seem to have a connection there. Okay.
Sure.
Other
then
thoughts?
Tandra she's talking about the Chiefs. If you pull up, it's a biblical reference. She says, who are the Phoenicians? So she looked up, who are the Phoenicians? Are you seeing that?
I see Phoenicians here, but just made me think of Ezekiel for a second there, because the Prince of Rosh, or the head, or the chief, came to mind as well. Huh, okay.
Yeah, they were ruled by the chiefs who maintained mound city shrines throughout the land of Canaan.
So what does this mean? What does the Phoenicians have to do with this?
I think she was just making biblical references. Yeah, go ahead.
So the Phoenician colors, I've been watching Franchise Pearson's videos, and he always talks about their colors being purple and Tiffany blue. Okay. And that mask that you were showing from, what is that, Carnival?
Yeah.
It's those colors.
This one here?
I can't see the video.
Oh, probably hasn't caught up yet. But yeah, I'm showing it up here as well. So yeah, that's interesting.
So, yeah, he talks about their colors being purple and Tiffany blue, and then also there's a video he did where he was talking about Prince, where he was like, maybe what Prince was warning us about when he was saying purple rain was not R-A-I-N, but R-E-I-G-N.
Right. Purple rain, purple rain. Phoenicians colors. Here it is. It is very similar to that mask. You're right. Mm-hmm. Looks like the same color there. Wow. And you also made me think of the Bible reference. Let me see if I can look up. Where are we here? Let's look up the scriptures here. The good old Bible will show us the way. Ezekiel 38. Just made me think of, because I did a whole video on the Russians, the history of the Russians and being the chiefs, and the chief connection there. I remember that. Here, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. See? So that's how it's translated in the KJV, the chief prince. And that word chief, let's see if I can find it here, is Rosh, which is connected to Rosha, which I did a whole thing on that before. Or sometimes translate prince of Rosh. But that's Rosh. Did a lot of videos on that, so check that out too. But it can mean head or chief. So you got the Chiefs and the 49ers. And is this connecting us to the Ezekiel prophecy being fulfilled. That's also intriguing thoughts as well. Ooh, this is fun, guys. I love this. I love having this discussion where we can share all these things. This is great. Okay, other thoughts here about the Super Bowl? So continue forth, or anything that we've shared so far. I'm gonna keep going here. So, like I said, I did these videos. Just check them out. But I just think it's kind of odd that I happen to do videos that the fig tree generation. So if you counted up all the days of the fig tree generation, it ended February 11th, 2022. And I go over that, and then there's another video here, February 10th and 11th, the days of Noah. So just kind of interesting that we're circling back to those days again. Could it be that it was a 2-year, type of, like this is the 75th year? Because the other thing that came to mind is that Abraham entered the promised land in his 75th year. And this is the 75th year of Israel, ends technically here at the end of Adar, before Nisan begins. And we know Nisan, April 8th, is when we've got that epic eclipse that's happening. So could it be that all this is coming to a head by the end of the 75th year? And it's just interesting that we've got the February 10th and 11th coming back again. So again, check out that playlist. But I want to talk about, what's this? The GRAMMYS. Okay, so check this out. So we've got 666 for the Grammys as well. So it's the 66th Grammys, took place on February 4th. 4 plus 2 of February is 6. So you've got the 666 happening with the Grammys, the 666th Grammys. Now this was also on the eve of Toby not being with us anymore, and also iPad Goat being released 5 months to the day after it was taken down on February 5th. Now, I went through these, and of course they reset the video, so it doesn't have it where I wanted to show you, but I want to show you a couple shots in these videos. Now, this is the video. It's called Saturn. Okay, so now, of course, tomorrow is Saturday, which is named after Saturn, and this is the name of the video. It's the god Saturn that they worship, connected with Satan as well. But I want to show you this one shot here. So it's kind of like a witch coven. It struck me that way anyway when I saw them going this. It's like a pentagram circle. There's 5 people, and they're going in a circle, and it just reminded me of like a witch coven. Kind of out worshiping in nature, how witches would do. So this is one performance that they had there. And then you've got this, which is Travis of the Scott. Now, he infamously had a concert where several people died while he sang over them in what seemed like a satanic ritual. And he's doing this more Satanism here with fire, like he's dancing over hell or something as he's singing here. And then you had another woman who looked like she was Olivia of the Rodrigo. And it looks like she's wearing a dress that's like identical to the original Carrie movie. The way it's cut on her neck in a V and so forth. Now it starts out white in the movie, ends up turning red because blood is poured on her. Well, the same thing happens here. I know this stuff is disgusting. I'm sorry. It's just what's happening in the world. I'm just reporting on it, but they're just full Satanism, at the Grammys now. And at most of these concerts too. But anyway, she's singing, and while she's singing, blood literally starts pouring out of the back wall. I'm not going to show you that part, but it literally starts pouring out the back wall, and then it's at one point she puts her arms up, and then it starts falling on her as well, and it comes down on her cheek and on her arm. You see it at different points. Again, I'm not going to try to show you that, but I do want to show you this one thing where she puts her arms up on her head. Let's see if I can find it here. And now here she's got the blood falling on her. But I'm trying to show you this other part here where she has her arms up and it casts a shadow on the floor. Oh, and then meanwhile, Taylor Swift is watching her and saying, "Oh, isn't this great?" While she's doing this. Oh, wait, there it is, I think. Hold on. Yeah, it's like this shot, but it's another shot. She's got her arms up. Let me see if I can find it. and it's like basically it casts a shadow on the floor. I don't know if I'm going to find it here or not, but it casts a shadow, and it makes devil's horns coming out of her head that you can see on the floor. And I mean, it's so out in the open now. It's like, can't even hide it anymore. But I mean, they're not trying to hide it. But anyway, it's intriguing because it's very subtle the way it's done. But you can totally see the shadow reflected on the floor. But she basically just has her arms on her head. I don't know if I'm going to find it, but it's pretty disgusting. Anyway, so yes, Satanism is going on out in the open there at the Grammys. 666 is 66 Grammys took place on 6, so you got 666 there. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts. And then there's Taylor Swift. She stands up in the middle of everybody and like cheers her on while she's performing, and gets into it and basically says, yeah, I'm all, and she had a performance there that was kind of satanic and weird too, on this kind of like witch's house or something. I don't know what she's on there, but so anyway, any thoughts on there with the Grammys? Not that it's real news that they're satanic or anything. Oh, here it is. But you can kind of see it on the floor, but she does it even more dramatically. If I can back it up a little more, see if I can get it. Anyway, it reflects on the floor and it casts a shadow of like the devil. So, but anyway, any thoughts on this? No? None? Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah. No, it's just sick.
Yeah, it's just sick. I know. I'm sorry. It's this is on public television, guys. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not trying to gross you out. I mean, there were worse pictures of Carrie I could have shown, but anyway.
Yeah, James B is like, yeah, we know. I mean, the stuff that Taylor's doing seems very witchy as well. I agree with James.
Yeah. So anyway, so that took place on 666, but that was on the eve of IPG being re-released. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then the fact that Toby dies that at that time as well. So so then there's IPG, which is also very depressing to watch, and kind of went through it again today. I'm like, is there anything they changed or anything different? But it's like, man, I can't wait to not have to think about any of these things anymore. How about you? So anyway, a couple of things stood out to me. I've done lots of videos on this as well that you can check out. But the dragon is in the beginning of the film on the wall. So Year of the Dragon, so kind of, when Obama comes on the scene, they show the dragon on the wall of the school. You see the dragon there next to the brain. And then we also we had Year of the Rabbit, that we just came out of, and I think Year of the Tiger was in there or something. So those are all in here as well. And I thought it was interesting that on the cheek of both the Antichrist and on the girl who's protesting the WAR, there's little islands you can see on there. I was wondering if some of them were Maui or Hawaii. And then, of course, the Philippines are in there as well. Or not Philippines, but Taiwan. So I was kind of wondering about that also. But anyway, I think we're all familiar with this. I don't really need to go over this in probably too much detail. But anything anybody wanted to mention about this? Now, I know their website used to show, their main page, but when you go to their website now, it shows you a negative phrase about the Israelites. I'll just put it that way. And, you can translate it and see what it says, but that's what shows up now on their website. So I don't know what to make of all of that, but supposedly this is something that is cluing us into what's actually taking place. But you can see on his cheeks, if you look closely, there's like what look like little land or island formations or something, so like a map, so you could kind of map something out there. And the same thing happens on the girl with now one point that was made too. Now we've talked about this guy in the past, the connection with perhaps the Mexican holiday of Dia de los Day of the Dead, Muertes, Dia de los Muertes. But there's another guy, Baron Samedi, which I think is associated with Mardi Gras or the Carnival or something. Let me see. And also you've got the celebration of a New Year fireworks behind him. So is that the Dragon New Year that they're referring to? So let me just look this up real quick and show you this. Baron Samedi. So Baron Samedi is this the guy? Baron Samedi. He's usually depicted with a top hat, black coat, dark glasses, cotton plugs in the nostrils. This is to resemble a corpse dressed and prepared for burial. And it's Haitian. I guess it's Haitian voodoo. But I don't know. So I just thought that was kind of something to note, I guess, that there might be some connection there. But I don't know beyond that. You guys have any thoughts on this? An iPad goat or any of this stuff? Kind of feel like I need to take a shower after doing this.
Just as though, like, I know it's infiltrating.
Need to be cleansed.
YouTube right now. What?
It's just it's just so much dark stuff. It's crazy.
It really is.
So anyway, but Baron Samedi. So that's another guy to consider in connection with the video. And then there's also a skeleton from Dia de los Muertos. And that also kind of has a similar look to that too. But anyway, so there you go. The skeletons. Yeah. So okay.
You know what I was gonna say?
Yes, please.
But I couldn't get myself off mute, and you had moved on. But someone had brought up about in Rio the horrible things that they portrayed in with their floats and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, the man that portrayed Jesus and mocked him, something happened to him after this happened, after the parade. Something happened to him, and then they Rio experienced flooding and extreme winds, and like almost as if God was displeased with them. They received like a really bad weather and what have you. And there's some videos on that that I've come across on YouTube.
What happened to the guy that played Jesus? Okay, that's a video, I think.
I don't know if he died or if he just got injured.
Yeah, a devastating rainstorm in Brazil takes place after that. Brazil floods. Like they can tell you. They're like, Brazil floods not due to mockery of Christ. Like, oh, like you can make that call? Like, we know. We checked with you. Who'd you ask about that? Did you talk to God about that?
Exactly.
Yeah, right. I think it's pretty obvious when you do something like that. Just the timing seems a little too clear. See, people mock God in Rio, and the one who depicted Jesus had to be hospitalized in an emergency. See. Says, time they presented the characters of Adam and Eve, but after the parade, the actor began to feel bad for the amount of time he was hanging and had to receive immediate help by the firefighters. The man whose identity is unknown was hanging from the top of a moving and decorated truck, one of the main attractions. In addition to Adam and Eve, he was rushed down from the height and taken to receive medical attention while he was conscious, but hours later he had to be taken to the Santana Hospital emergency room where he was going to be examined. Right now his state of health is not known. Wow. Don't mess with the Lord.
Yeah, God will not be mocked.
God will not be mocked. It's right there in Scripture. Wow, that's crazy.
I remember too when the code to the vid hit that they had put like some type of a banner on the Christ the Redeemer statue. And
oh yeah,
like, and then something happened to the statue, like lightning hit it,
or
like
something. The hand got damaged or something.
Yeah, something got messed up with the statue. I want to say, I think it had to do with abortion.
Yeah. Hand. Let's see. Broken. Yeah, I remember something like about that. His thumb is chipped. His thumb got chipped. Damaged by lightning.
And at that time, they had a banner hanging off of him. And I want to say that it had to do with abortion. I think it was abortion.
Pro-abortion group puts message on Christ the Redeemer.
Yes.
Wow.
I remember correctly. And then the lightning hit it.
Wow. That's crazy. They also put the poison on there as well.
Yeah, and aren't they projecting the climate clock on there now on him?
I think you might be right.
I'd seen something about that, but
Let's
maybe
see.
I'm wrong. I thought I saw a picture of it.
Gamer struck by lightning. Wow. Climate clock. Christ Redeemer statue. Oh yeah, it's on there. There it is. 5 months, 34 days, etc. It's like they're just using him as a billboard.
That's
They're
exactly
using
what I was
Jesus
going to say.
as a billboard for their agenda.
Wow.
I mean, how blatantly in your face against God can you be? You know, to denigrate, to set Jesus up and then denigrate him, use him for whatever you want. Wow. Don't want to be in the way of that lightning. Well, guys, this was a pretty good discussion tonight. See if there's anything else that we didn't cover that we wanted to cover here. I think we covered most of it. But if you haven't already, we hope you come over. There's some other things I was going to talk about, but we'll talk about it next time. I just wanted to cover the stuff that's going on.
Add one more comment.
Weekend. Yeah, go ahead.
Donna, in the YouTube chat is saying, someone pointed out that the movie Mars Attacks blew up the Las Vegas football arena.
Oh, really? Right.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk much about the arena, actually, like the Death Star, I guess it's called, or something.
Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, the Allegiant Stadium. Let me go back for a second here. Allegiant.
Said, sorry, she's just joining. She just got home from work. Otherwise, she would have brought it up sooner.
Yeah, they called it the Death Star. The Allegiant Stadium is known as the Death Star. Why?
Ah.
The Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas Raiders owner Mark Davis called his new home the Death Star in 2020, and the name stuck. Allegiant Stadium and its black facade, in fact, resembles the ominous space station from the Star Wars franchise that was capable of destroying planets. Oh, great. That's the perfect place to start your Arma of the Getting Out of Here epic time. Yeah, it does look a little bit like Vader's helmet or something. Or Tron. Some combination thereof. That's interesting.
And then Brenda was like, and it's also known as the superb owl, when you break up Super Bowl.
Superb owl. Right, because the owl, of course, goes back to the cream of the Asian of the care, or of the, what's the name of that place? Wait, don't say it. It's coming to me. The bow of the Hemian of the Grove.
Yes, exactly.
So, yes. Yeah, it looks a little bit like his helmet in the TIE Fighter or something. Or like the TIE Fighter helmet. Yeah, that's interesting. So is this where the death emanates from? Will death begin here? Will the death and destruction begin here in Vegas? Tune in next time to find out. And we're going to continue to hang out here for a little bit. So if you'd like to come over and join us, you're welcome to. Just go to the link right on screen, MikhailMinistries.com, and join us. It's free. And you can be part of the fellowship here and talk. And we have events throughout the week. Tomorrow night, I'll be doing Monday night, because I forget we're on Friday right now. So not tomorrow night, but Monday night, We'll be doing, well, Sunday we have service here, and then we also have Bible study tomorrow on Saturday at noon. So both at noon, Saturday and Sunday, and then Eastern time. And then we'll be back. We won't be here Sunday because of the Super Bowl, but we'll be back Monday. And we'll have a Bible question and answer on Monday night here in the fellowship. So any questions you have about the Bible, anything at all, just come and bring it. And then we'll also, Tuesday night we have prayer and communion time. Wednesday night we're going to have discipleship class. Thursday we have game night. Friday we usually do praise and worship. Saturday again we're back at Saturday and we'll do Bible study again and movie night and then Sunday. And then we'll be back next Sunday for our Sunday Night Live. So guys, I love you. I hope to see you in heaven. Like today would be cool. And but come over in the meantime while we're waiting for heaven. Come on over, and if you want to get ready for heaven, you don't want to be just looking for heaven but not be ready for heaven. You know, there were 10 virgins. They were all looking forward to heaven, but only 5 of them were ready to go to heaven. You see how that works? So you can be watching and waiting, but still not be ready. So the important thing is that you get ready and that you get right with God and that you become a disciple of Christ. You're born again of water and the Spirit, and you live the Christian life and help others come to Christ as well. So if you were interested in that, come on over. That's what we do here, and we'll help get you ready to roll. We love you guys. Wishing you all the best and all the blessed. And Maranatha.